Good evening. It's the second Sunday in April, and you're with Real Talk on Relationships with Riana Milne. How are you? I hope you had a fantastic week. Tonight we're talking about a very important topic to me, spirituality. And I wanted to dissect a little bit at the secret behind the secret. If you haven't seen the movie yet, it came out many years ago. I think it was 2008. Became a best-selling book and movie. The DVD is phenomenal, and I do assign this to my life and love and relationship coaching clients to watch it separately, and if they're in a coupled relationship, to discuss it with our partner. And the reason is it's such an important concept for growth and healing and change to have a certain sense of spirituality. So this is a topic that is dear to my heart. Many people don't know. I actually am also Reverend Riana. I don't advertise it except under Ceremonies by the Sea. I've been doing weddings since 1997 in New Jersey. It was civil unions and weddings for gay and straight couples, celebrating their love, their union, and then weddings were passed in New Jersey. And I'm thinking of all my beautiful couples that I married many years ago, since 1997. So spirituality is something that I needed for healing a couple of times in my young life. At 16 years old, my very dear friend was killed by a drunk driver, Michael Marcucci, and I had to figure out, how did this happen? I didn't understand why, and then when I was at Penn State, my roommate and best friend of 3 years was murdered by her boyfriend. So these are times in my life that I got really deep within myself, and it's like, God, if you're out there, what is my purpose in life? Why am I here? And I learned very early on, time is a gift, and we don't know how much time we have. This year, I will be celebrating my 60th birthday. I can't even believe it myself. I always say age is a state of mind and energy. Most people don't think I'm going to be 60. But it was always something, and my age was something I was proud of and something to celebrate because I was still living, and God gave me another chance to keep staying here in this world for my purpose and to help others. And that's my purpose here in life as a coach and a counselor. And I learned very early on some philosophies in spirituality in my young 20s. From Buddhism. I actually took a course at Penn State. We had to pick a religious course. And I grew up as Episcopalian, Christian, but I took a Buddhism course. And I remember hanging a sign on my dorm room, "Do not disturb, I'm meditating." And people thought that was just so weird back then. And after I meditated, I'd sit and I'd write in my journal. I could get really deep with my thoughts, and I always knew my writing was pretty profound. And people used to really, thanks honey, used to look at my writings and say, "Oh my God, you have to write a book one day." And I said, "Yes, I will." So the teachings I'm teaching tonight are from Live Beyond Your Dreams. It's one of my 2 books in Barnes & Noble stores and on Amazon. And you can get them anywhere. Hey, Jane, how are you? Thanks for joining me. One of my coaching clients, she's amazing. It's always cool when I see them sign on, because it reminds me, like when I start a lot with my coaching clients, many of them are not spiritual at all. They might have grown up with a family religion, whether it was Catholic or the Jewish faith or whatever. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but I just want you to open your mind and heart to spirituality. And they're like, a little like, well, what do I have to do? Like, I may not like this. And I said, just like be open to it, to receive it. And it's like the coolest thing once you get it, because spirituality is beyond all the religious faiths. And I do want to talk this week because it is Holy Week for the Christian faith and Passover for the Jewish faith. So it's a really important week to remind us that we're all here for a purpose, and our Holy Weeks, our week of Passover and Easter, and we celebrate Palm Sunday today. Joey and I went to the Unity Church. It was an amazing service by Reverend Nancy. We love her. But it reminds us that, we're here for a reason, and to trust and to have faith in our divine higher purpose. And we're all here for a reason. So it's our responsibility to find out what that is. And when we get what we're here to learn, and it's all life's lessons. In Buddhism, we call it the Earth School. It's all lessons. So, it's like, what am I here to learn? What am I here to teach others as I learn it? And, after the service today, I said to Joey, did you hear how many things she said that are in my books and that I teach too. And he goes, yeah, that was really cool. So today was a reminder to have trust, faith, remembrance in your divine humanness, that we all make mistakes, but we're also divine human creatures. And when we get tight in our meditation and go within and trust the intuition, that deeper voice, the divine within us, to give us our messages of hope, faith, trust, when we listen to them, oh my gosh, the intuition, I have learned to really, really act on it. And I've been meditating for many years. It's 2017, at least 10 years regularly on a daily basis. And even through my 20s and 30s, but even more so as I became a coach and a counselor. And all my coaching clients also meditate. And they're getting these incredible inspirational messages. They've learned to trust in the intuition that's coming up. Things have come to me that people are like, no, that's not going to happen. Like, my books being in Barnes & Noble, like half of 1% self-published authors get into Barnes & Noble, and I just had this faith it was going to happen. Me sitting in my home, it's a cash offer in my home. The realtor's there. There's no chance you're going to get this house. And I believed in it, and I asked for it, and I saw it, and I visualized on it, and I trusted on it, and here I am. So I want to encourage you all who's listening tonight or in this week that I post this video to open your mind to spirituality in this very important week of rebirth, regrowth, reflection of who we are, why we're here, that we're both human and we're divine, and to just really reflect on all the beautiful things, all the blessings that we do have, and wake up each day with that incredible feeling like I'm so blessed. Why am I here? Whose life can I touch today? Whose heart can I make happier today? So we're all here for a reason. And this little series, Sunday night at 7:30, and I'm thinking of changing it to like Monday or Tuesday, because I just love my weekends with my honey Joey. We go out and play. It was this big craft fair in Delray, and we had a great time. I have to always run back to do Facebook Live, but I have a responsibility to share and to teach. And that is my divine purpose, to teach. And I've been teaching for many years. I had a model and talent company, Riana Model and Talent in Erie, PA, and I'm so happy so many of those actors and models are still on my Facebook and touch base with me, and I love that. And I was 26 when I opened a school, and I had it for 10 years, and I just watched people excel with the watch me attitude that I talk about in my book, Live Beyond Your Dreams, and the sense of faith. And the sense of faith is part of the watch me attitude. And when I say attitude, it's like not a bad attitude, so please understand, it's a mindset for success. It is personal brainwashing, because we are changing everything we grew up with, everything our parents said that we're good, we're bad, we're not this enough, good enough, whatever, and totally rechanging our mindset with an attitude that I am great, I am loved, I am divine, I'm here for a reason, and I'm here to touch many, many lives. So, that's what the Watch Me mindset is about. So when I saw the movie The Secret, it actually came out after my book, Live Beyond Your Dreams, and this is the one I'm talking about tonight. And you can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. But it is about this positive mindset for success, and it's really good to understand it during difficult transitions. And I'm a woman that has had many difficult transitions, and I keep saying, I have to write that book, I have to write that book. In my 20s, in my 30s, and I finally got to write it. It was partially my story of struggle and my story of using the mindset for success to get beyond struggle as a single mom raising a couple phenomenal kids. My girls are like so amazing. I'm so blessed, and I have now 2 adorable grandsons and a great partner in my life. So, we all go through tough times, and this is when we have to pull on faith and confidence and trust in our abilities and in the divine, that there are, our God, our divine is here with us. So when you watch the movie The Secret, there's many different messages that come through, and this is why I like my coaching clients to look at this movie and process it, either with me or if they're a couple, to process it with each other. So again, I'm always here every Sunday to remind you how to be and attract an amazing love in your life and to have the relationship of your dreams. So the spirituality is part of being the evolved self. So evolved means being your highest and best self. It means living a conscious life. So being conscious means you think about what you say and do before you act. So important for peace in relationships, to have a successful business life, to date consciously and enjoy the process. It's just so important. So many of us just, I hate to use the expression, but fly from the seat of our pants, right? You just don't think, you just do. But this is how humans are, and very few people are grounded in consciousness where they think before they speak or act. And when I have couples coming to me that are struggling in their relationships, this is one of the first things I have them do to really slow down everything. It's like, or what you're saying for the good of all, is what you're saying positive to your partner, or is it damaging? If it's not nice, don't say it. Think and stop yourself. But again, we're fighting these childhood patterns, which are called ACOA, adult child of an alcoholic, or other child of trauma. And there is 9 traumas that I teach my clients to overcome. And if you want to see more on that, definitely go back to the Facebook Live. You can see it on Coach Riana Milne or on my YouTube page. All of January of this year was about personality types that tend to destroy relationships. And this is because people act out of fear and triggers from the past. So when I have a client, we always do life coaching first, and part of that is to instoke a sense of faith of the divine. And I don't care what they call it, a higher power, divine, God, whatever you're comfortable with. All the higher books in every religion has the same messages, and they're all spiritual. And that's what's so beautiful. So spirituality is a part of everybody's life. It can be a part of everyone's life. And it's also about consciousness, being your highest and best self. So when you watch the movie The Secret, it's by Robin Burns. It's a documentary. You can see it on Netflix. It's been out for many years. But it's definitely a video you should have in your collection. I think I've watched it myself 40 times because I teach it so much. There's some beautiful quotes that come up, not only from Buddha, Martin Luther King, Darwin, like inventors, scientists, presidents, all the greater powers from many different cultures and many different faiths know of the power of the secret. So the secret is we are what we believe we can be. What you think about comes about. What you believe, you achieve. And this is so important because, again, our childhood wounds make us afraid and make us doubt who we are and doubt our greatness. But God put us here for a reason, guys. Like, we're all here to share our light, share our hearts, share our minds. There's always teaching opportunities. And it's so cool because when my clients learn this consciousness to help others, which is for the good of all, it's one of my quotes, what's for the good of all, and they see someone struggling, they start teaching. So it's like this ripple effect of love, and it's like so beautiful. And when someone gets this, when they finally see, like, the childhood trauma was here, we couldn't help what happened to us, we were all victims, innocent victims. You know, our parents didn't mean to hurt us in any way. They really didn't. They did the best they could. And they were a product of their parents. Okay, so we have to forgive and know that our parents did the best that they could. And as adults, forgiveness is the highest spiritual concept that we can have. So we want to forgive and open our minds and our hearts to, okay, this happened to us in the past, but our past does not have to own us at all. Like, our past doesn't own us. Our past teaches us valuable lessons. And then it's like, okay, I've come from pain, but I can take this pain and make it a strength. And this is what I did with my coaching. You know, I had some painful relationships where I was involved with people that had childhood trauma. And I didn't even know what that was. Like, I had no idea what was happening. And, you know, I loved these people. I tried my best as a partner, and I didn't understand what was happening. Then I finally had the answers, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I went through this pain for a reason, and now I'm going to make this pain part of my lessons and move it forward and help other people that came from childhood wounds or childhood pain. And forgive my partners of the past, release them in love, they're gone, release them in love and hope that they're happy, and open my heart and mind to receive new love. And that's what I encourage you all to do also. Because those of us that stay, stuck in the anger or stuck in the pain will always be depressed or anxious. And it's so free to have this faith that you're not meant to stay small. We're meant to live large. And I love that sentence, like, let's live large, travel the world, take a risk with business, grow your business, say hello to a new friend. Like, we're just supposed to feel so amazing on this earth. This is why we're here. And then when we feel that light and that love, we can share it with other people. So The Secret has many different avenues where they break down one's life. So they talk about the secret in work, in relationships, in health, in parenting, in healing and growth. Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. Oh my gosh, I'm having some really cool friends hang on. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Scott. Thanks for coming on. It's great to see you guys. So let's talk about the secret and how it applies to your life. So the secret is, even though we don't understand what's happening to us, why it's happening, we have this faith that it's for the good of the future. I'll give you an example. I was a SAC counselor in a school in Vineland, New Jersey. A SAC, S-A-C, means Student Assistance Counselor, and I dealt with the emotionally upset kids, the oppositional defiant, the ADHD, kids that were depressed, teens that were cutting, and I worked, with kids from K all the way through college. So I worked in schools for many years. And the point is here that, we go through this pain and we don't know why it's happening. And I loved my work, and I got Teacher of the Month, and then I go into a meeting, and all of a sudden they said, well, you must hate being at this meeting, being that you're laid off. And I didn't even know I was laid off because I was doing a suicide prevention conference for administration. And everyone else in my elementary school knew I was laid off, and I didn't even know I was laid off till I went in and joined the meeting once I got back from this training. So it was interesting because I just picked my books up and I said, well, in light of that I'm being laid off, I need a little time to myself. And if you've watched The Secret before, there's these magnificent quotes that go across the bottom of the screen. And it's this man's soft voice. And I heard that voice in my head and said, don't worry, it's time. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got my own house here in New Jersey. I'm a single woman. I'm building this counseling center behind my home. It's now February. I've got to the end of school year, June, and I've got to make this work for me. And but that reassuring voice was that faith that this is, in Buddhism, we call it the wind of change. If you don't change something and you're pushed forward, like I was pushed to leave the school because I was laid off with another 11 SAC counselors. We were all laid off because we lost our grant. It's like, okay, I need to look at this in a different way. And when you have faith, it's like, I can do this. It's February. All right, I got 3 months. I can get my CO on my building. I can open my office. I'll be ready to go. I took all my days that I didn't use for time off, and I used them to open up the business. I didn't panic. I meditated, and I just knew this was the next step for me. And the month that I opened, which was July, I had 99 clients coming out from nowhere. I didn't advertise. I did nothing different. I went to school every day until the end of June when New Jersey school lets out. And then I opened my center, and clients were coming from all over. What did I do? I prayed and meditated on the way to school and on the way back to school. Thank you for my clients coming to my center starting in July. And it was an expectancy that it would happen. This is faith, guys, an expectancy that this is what's going to happen. An expectancy when you believe that you can achieve what your dreams and your goals are. So many people don't even do goal setting. That's why in my coaching program, we do very clear and concise goal setting, because you have to put out there what you want. Now, in the movie The Secret, it will tell you, be very exact with what you're asking for. So when I went to be in this beautiful home that I'm in now, and I wanted to put an offer in, they said, sorry, it's gone. There's a cash offer. You're not going to get it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, right. I wouldn't believe it. So in step 2 of the meditation I teach, you ask for what you want. So I said, thank you, God, for my beautiful home in so-and-so lane. And then it would see. Step 3 is visualization. The turquoise, the whites, my pillows, my art, where my art was going to go. Joey and I, like being on the couch, watching a movie with the TV up on the wall, hanging on the wall. Like I saw everything. Everything. And I just believed this was going to be my home. And like 2.5 months later, step 4 of my meditation is a question, God, what you want me to know? And like, bam, right into my mind, it said, call the realtor, the house is yours. And I'm like, okay, well, I always knew not to hesitate on the direction that I got from my divine, which comes up through you. It's not this voice out here in La La Land. It comes up through you. And I called the realtor. I said, Jess, do me a favor, like check out this house. She goes, no, Rihanna, seriously, it's not on realtor.com. It's not on the multi-list. I said, just call the realtor anyway, just like pacify me. I didn't tell her why. She calls me back. She goes, oh my God, I don't believe it. The deal fell through last night. I said, put the offer in, the house is mine. So as sure as I knew it was going to be mine, it's mine. And this has happened with my books in Barnes & Noble. This has happened in so many instances in my life. This is when I prayed for a beautiful spiritual man starting New Year's Eve, and I met Joey February 12th. Time and time and time again, guys, it's happened for me. And it happens for those that I coach. And that's why, like, I have goosebumps every time I coach somebody and they get into the meditation. And thank you, you're right, Tom. Nothing happens without faith. It's so true. And when you get used to listening to your divine, which becomes your ultimate intuition, it's just amazing how quickly things fall into place. So the Secret movie tells you about have faith, think about it, be clear about it, meditate on it. Quantum science and physics has told us that meditation definitely changes the brain. Okay, it definitely changes everything. It's like electricity. When you're thinking about it very solidly, things will rearrange in your life to come to you. And it sounds like so weird, like, really? Does this really happen? And it's like, when it's happened to you like so many times, like it has for me, and then I see my clients meditate on the 4-step system that I teach, and they get it, and their stuff comes to be, they're like, this is amazing, Ree, like, this is working. And it's so exciting to see it happen. Honestly, guys, it's just so beautiful. So I just want to encourage you, if you have not seen the movie, to make sure you see The Secret. When it talks, let's break down a little bit. There's a section where this big genie comes up, and it says, your wish is my command. Well, the fable of Aladdin and his lamp, he rubs the lamp and he gets 3 wishes. Well, actually, this is a fable and a story from the Bible, and there was never a limit on the wishes. I didn't know that until I saw the movie. It's like, oh, that's interesting. So we're supposed to put the wishes into the universe. We're supposed to really see them and meditate. It's more of a feeling, not a command with words. It's a feeling. It's a thought process. It's a knowing. And of course, I always say God helps those who help themselves. So we can't be lazy. We have to set up the goals for what we want, but we have to proceed with courage and faith. And when we're doing the right things, living in integrity, and trying to do the best for all, amazingly so, the world aligns for us and brings us what we need. It doesn't mean that we don't go through tough times. My people that have known me over many years, Jerry's on the call. Jerry knows what I've been through in New Jersey. And you know what? It's like, forgive it, release it, open my heart and mind to receiving new love, and have an amazing love in my life. So, the world is abundant. All my single people that are out there, trust that the world is abundant. You will find somebody amazing to love you and for you to love as well. And you just have to be totally confident and trusting in yourself in the process. So again, when I coach someone for my singles, before we even do the dynamics of dating, we go through all the stuff for life coaching. What did you encounter as a child? Let's forgive it. Let's understand it. You can't change what you don't understand. Let's understand it. Let's have some faith behind it. What are the lessons we need to learn from the pain of the past? Let's take these lessons and make them count for something and move forward with the confidence that these lessons were taught to us so we can be better and receive more and better love and rewards from our work. Whatever it is, it will come to us. So people that proceed with anger, remember I talk about living in the light or living in the dark, like the yin yang from Buddhism, right? People that live in the dark, that's where depression is, and anxiety and fear and control and addiction and anything that makes you anxious, nervous, unhappy is in the dark side. And that's what we process. And then when we come over to coaching, it's like living in the now and deciding what goals you want for your future and putting that into your head so clearly and making some profound steps of what you need to do to get those goals to come through for you. But it's the doing and the faith together that makes it work. And it does. It really does. And that's why coaching is just so amazing. Let me see some things that I might want to go through from The Secret. There was a quote in here, your thoughts become your feelings and what you ultimately become. And I always say, when I used to teach groups for AA and NA, I was brought in as a consultant in New Jersey a lot for rehab centers because I'm an LCADC and a CAP, Certified Addiction Professional. And I said, you don't stand up and say, hello, I'm an addict when you haven't used, or hello, I'm an alcoholic. No, no, no. You stand up and you say, I'm a loving child of God. And it's funny, I taught at this place called John Brooks. It was Institute of Human Development, IHD, when I went there. And they hired me for a year as a consultant. And I didn't talk about drugs or alcohol once. And I put on the movie The Secret. And this was a very diverse community of women from 21 to 68. Most of them from drug court, most of them from the prison system that ended up in jail due to their addiction, whether it was through prostitution or stealing to feed their family, or they wouldn't get off the streets and they were arrested. Whatever the case was, this was the clients I was teaching. I had 32 women. So I showed The Secret, and one lady raises her hand. It's like, but Miss Riana, seriously, like, I'm supposed to count my blessings? Look at me, I've got nothing. And I said, you know what? That's one way to look at it. Here's another way to look at it. There's 32 sisters sitting here. You all get each other. You all get each other's stories. You're no longer sitting in a prison cell. You've got clean sheets. You have 3 meals a day. You don't have to shop for it. Schlep the groceries up here. Cook the food. It's all done for you. You've got round-the-clock medical staff and counseling staff, which I'm one of them. And you get to see your children, so DIFAS, Division of Youth and Family Services, is working with you to have more time with your kids. Because if you're in jail, you wouldn't see your kids at all. And one lady stood up and said, Miss Riana, we are blessed. And that's what I'm talking about. How do you see your life, guys? If you see it on the dark side, it's always gloom and doom. It's always negativity. If you see it in the light, you always see what you do have. And then you build from there. Because when you get all anxious and fear-based, it's going to crumble. And when you remember God, the divine, the higher power, whatever you want to call it, is with you, and you have the capacity to be whoever you want to be, and you can create that for yourself, just settle yourself. You think outside of the box, which I call outside of the box thinking, what can I do? Never what can I do? You see, and that's the difference, okay? So that is the difference. What can I do? Alexi just popped in on a message. My baby's back from Australia. An amazing example of someone that's just like used positivity and mindset work from a baby to be such an incredible woman. And I don't know if you all know, she just got one of 28 women executives in business for Inc. magazine, my baby girl. So it's like, when you teach your kids this, and this is what I'm talking about in my ad about tonight's session, if your children learn this positive mindset for success, if you learn the mindset for success, it's a combination of faith and belief in anything that you want can come to you. And that's why I tell my story in my book, Live Beyond Your Dreams, because, you know, you see my journey as a single mom. At 25 years old, at 26, I was bankrupt with $750,000. in a bankruptcy, and still owing my mother $189,000 from a loan that my ex-husband took from my mom. So most kids at 24, 25, 26 would just give up. What did I do? I opened a model and talent agency in Erie, PA with my first month's rent with the belief I can make this go. Within 6 months, I went into a competition and won International Modeling and Talent School of the Year. So you know what? I've been there, guys. I've been through the hard times. I lived on tomato soup and scrambled eggs just to make sure I had enough money to give my kids a square meal. And I taught the positivity that no matter what, we're blessed. No matter what, we've got a lot. And Lex grew up and put waters wells in Tanzania, Africa. Her charity is EPIC, EPIC, Everyday People Initiating Change, with her best friend Tennille. T, she's like a daughter to me. And this is what I'm saying, like, we know what having something means, because those folks in Tanzania don't even have running water. So we are so blessed. And when you have this feeling of knowing the gratitude and the blessings that we have in life, guess what happens? You receive more. You receive more. When your energy is out there and positive and up, more comes to you. It's your light. It's your inner light radiating out, helping others, and it comes back to you. In Buddhism, it's the law of karma. What you give out, you will receive back. So all the higher books talk of all these concepts. And in general, I just like to call it spirituality. But it's such a big part of growth and healing and change and a great relationship. Studies show that the best relationships are those that are faith-based. Again, I don't care what religious practice it is. If you're doing it together and you both are really coming from a place of gratitude each day, and thank you for being in my life, and thank you for helping me, or thank you for cooking breakfast, or thank you for whatever it is that your partner does for you. When you remain in gratitude for all the nice things your partner does, your love will be there. Your love remains. So studies show emotionally healthy, evolved people, and evolved, again, as being your highest and best self. So we have two faith-based people coming together for a relationship. Those are the ones that are so amazingly happy, because they come from gratitude from the moment they wake up, and they share their light with those that they meet. So whatever work you do, you're trying to make people happy or give them a service. Help my work, of course, is help change lives, which I'm so blessed to be able to do. It's my passion work, or to create art. Joe is a metal artist, so he creates beautiful art or makes transformation with his art. So we all do something, and we have to put it like we're helping to enhance lives in some way. And if you're not happy with your work, you can find that blessing work through volunteerism as well. So maybe you're not crazy about your job, but you want to brainstorm on what else you can do. Start your passion work part-time, and then move into it as you can. So, okay, breaking down the secret a little bit. There's a quote in there from Buddha: all that we are is a result of our thoughts, and therefore thoughts become things. So we have to really be careful of our mindset, and we have to gain back the control of our own mind and our own thoughts, because when we ever get into fear-based thoughts, fear, depression, anxiety, guys, that's coming from your childhood wounds. That's the ACOA stuff we got to get rid of. Okay, so that's what I coach, helping you to get rid of that and never going back into the dark past. Staying current, find the blessing from the pain, understand the lessons that you learned, and then move forward. So the creative process that they talk about in The Secret is ask for what you want, not with words, but more with thoughts, and primarily with the feelings that you have while you're meditating. Explain in your head, like a movie scene, how you want your life to be in every area. So I have my clients meditate on one, maybe two scenes of the ideal goal or life that they want. And this can change. That's totally cool, so thanks, honey. So, I mean, and actually I learned from a brain seminar I was just on last week. I'm always looking to study and learn more that I can teach. But they say when your eyes are closed and the eyes go up towards the brain, looking up, and I say, look here, this is the movie screen for your life. It does something to change your brain, and your brain waves actually bringing towards you what you want. So step 3 in my meditation is visualize what you want very clearly. And then they say in the movie, place your order with the universe. But you're placing it by thinking about and feeling like, yes, I deserve this. This is where I'm moving towards. And it's very exciting when it happens. It's really super cool. And then, like, when I'm in my house and I'm out in the Florida room, I'm like, okay, God, like, I got my house. What am I supposed to meditate on? I was kind of lost for a minute, and I'm in my mind with my eyes closed. And boom, this really fast thought came into my head. And I'm on a red carpet in a beautiful silver beaded gown. Of course, I look amazing with my hair all done up, my makeup great. The gown has a slit up the leg. I've got the perfect pumps on, satin. Joey's arms are around me, and we're smiling for the camera, and I'm holding a statue. I'm like, oh my God, I'm winning an award. So the only thing I'm thinking of is the TV show Radical Dating, you know, Finding Lasting Love Over 40, which my client Scott is on with me tonight. Hey, Scott, I'm always so happy when you're with me. That just brings me much joy and happiness. But, you know, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to go with this thought. This is a good one. I like this. So I'm putting it out there, you know? And, you know, I always say you got to live large. And if you don't risk for what you want, then you're always sorry you didn't try. And if you risk for what you want, you didn't make it, and say, hey, at least I tried. And you can have a lot of pride in that. If you guys haven't seen the movie The Bucket List, and I love that, Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson, I just saw it as a rerun the other night. I'm like, oh my God, this movie is so cool. Because again, it's two men facing the end of their life, and are they going to continue to go through chemo and treatments and feel crappy to the end of their life is done, or they're like, let's live large, let's go play, let's go visit the world, and let's blow this thing out and have a great time. And I just love the message in that movie. And it's very similar to The Secret, because it's like, think about what you want to do and just do it. Don't be afraid of it. Some of the concepts are the universe will answer to what you're asking for, and it will actually rearrange things for it to happen. I don't know how I got in this house. I don't know how a cash offer fell through. But man, I would not forget that visualization, that menu I was placing with the world, that I wanted this house, this beautiful home with this beautiful lake in front of it, the sun rising in the morning, and here I am. The thing is, don't ask how it's going to happen. It doesn't matter. It's just that it does. And things present itself. It's just so cool. Like, I always wanted my book to get to #1 on Amazon, Love Beyond Your Dreams, because I put so much of my heart into that. You know, over 200 references are in that book. And it went #1 on Amazon. And that's really, really hard when in psychology there's like over 500,000 books. So for it to reach #1, I was meditating on it, was feeling it. And don't you know, I go to this lecture that I normally wouldn't have gone to. It's like, yeah, I'll take the half a day off. I'll go to this lecture. And one of the speakers was someone that has the knowledge of helping you to get to #1 on Amazon. I'm like, do. This is the guy I'm supposed to meet. I need to talk to you. I want to talk to you about this. So he read the book. He goes, yes, this book is amazing. I can help you get there on Amazon. And it happened for me. So in the spiritual world, that we say there is no mistakes. We're placing this order with the world, the universe, our divine, and then things present or show up. And then we don't ask why they're here. We just kind of smile. And it's like, this is so cool. Like, we just know, like, this is so cool that this is happening. So that's all I want to say. It's like, you don't ask how it's going to happen. Just trust that it will. You can request things that are big or things that are small. Sometimes the larger things take a little bit more time. It's kind of like a little bit of a fantasy. You're making up this fantasy life, but it's interesting how fantasy becomes a fact. You know, I always wanted to go to the Mediterranean. I always wanted to go to Venice with someone I love. I had that dream for like 6-7 years. When I met Joey, he's there like, tell me some of your dreams. It's like, yeah, I want to do this. I just threw it out there. He goes, we're going. I'm like, I just know you a couple of months. We're going. We're going on that cruise. We're doing that trip. And then, you know, didn't he give me a beautiful ring in Venice? So it's like planning the order with the universe, and it happens. It just, for me, guys, it's happened over and over and over again. So you got to try this. You have to be able to receive it. Like, be open to receiving it, not scared of it. Don't ask. Don't second guess. When your intuition says, this is what's happening, trust in your intuition. It's almost like being in the zone. You feel very joyous. And question in the fourth stage of my meditation is, God, what do you want me to know? So it's usually 2 to 3 sentences. It's very good, positive affirmation. It's very calm, and I've learned never to second guess it. And I've always moved forward with that, and it's never done me wrong. Remember, if you think angry, fearful, and negative thoughts, then anger and fear comes to you. So you have to monitor your thoughts. As soon as you go into a fear-based thought, this is what I call it. It's called capping. Here's a fear-based thought from the dark side. Oh my gosh, I'm so afraid I'm not going to finish this job. Cap it with, I absolutely will finish this job, and I'm going to finish it brilliantly. I have the skills and the knowledge, and I can do this. Okay, so when a negative thought, a dark thought comes up, make sure you monitor it and cap it and correct it. 30 days to break a bad habit, 30 days to make a good one. 90 days to really understand it. That's why a lot of rehabs say, we want you in for 90 days. But 6 months to make it a way of life. So that's why my coaching programs are 6 months, because I see my clients go through this transformation slowly, where they become, like, fight it. They don't like it to be spiritual initially. No, I don't need this. I don't want this. I'm like, just open your mind to it. Let's try this. Let's try that. And then slowly with meditation, things are coming to them. It's like, whoa, okay, Riana, this is kind of working. I say, keep with it, keep with it, keep with it. And when they're with it 4 days, 6 days, 8 days, they're like, I feel calm. I feel in control. I feel focused. Things are coming to me. I'm not questioning it. I'm hearing words of wisdom. And it's just an amazing thing. So, if you need to understand this concept more, that's why I love the movie The Secret, because it really helps you to believe in your dreams. You want to get inspired to feel that feeling for what you want, and having it now that you deserve it. The world is abundant. We are here to be happy. And when we're happy and we have light within us, we're going to shine our light with other people. So don't doubt, don't delay, follow your intuition, and act. Very important. If you don't go with the changes that are proposed to you, again, the winds of change may be forced upon you. But those that are living in the light, we don't get angry, we don't get ticked off. It's like, okay, why is this happening to me? Like when I got this notice at the school, then when I walked out of that room, that quote came to me, don't worry, it's time. I'm like, all right, it's time for me to leave the secure job with the benefits and the regular paycheck to be in my own business with no benefits, nobody helping me out, and just trust that the clients will come. And man, they came. Like I said, 99 clients the first month I opened. And it was like, well, people would say that's a miracle. And I would say, no, it's what I thought about and what I meditated on, and it came to me. So again, trust and give this a shot, guys. It's so cool when it happens. So there's no rules. You just be, just like in nature. And, you just become what you're meant to be, which is great and beautiful. That's why we're here. And you're a part of nature, so just relax. Do your God-given talent, what you feel passionate about, and feel personally happy. And then you will bring these things to you. If for some reason you're unhappy and feel imprisoned in your own situation, you have to stop all negative thoughts. Like I said, start a little part-time thing that you're passionate about until you can bring that up to speed to support yourself. Then maybe break away from that secure job just to have your own thing. But again, you have to stay focused. You have to help yourself. This is not like totally not magic. God helps those who help themselves. So that's part of the process. But the big part is faith and confidence that you can do whatever you set out your mind to do. So begin with thinking all the blessings you do have. Feel really grateful about that. What you do have, appreciate everything every day. Give thanks first thing in the morning so that you start your day feeling really abundant and knowing what you do have and all the gifts you do have. And then feel that feeling of gratitude throughout the day, and you're going to attract more of it. Some people need like a little reminder, like in the movie they show a guy with a stone in his pocket. Every time he touched the stone, it reminded him to be grateful. Some people need that, but we just call it the attitude of gratitude. And if you meditate every day, that's how you start your day. It's a very powerful process. What you visualize will materialize, and you don't worry about how you're going to get from A to Z. You just feel it. And yes, Tom, how are you? I definitely believe in miracles, But I have a faith that I follow also called the Course of Miracles. It's based in spirituality. It's a combination of faith, psychology, and spirituality and philosophy. It's a very cool thing. Marianne Williamson, Wayne Dyer are a couple of authors that really speak on the Course of Miracles. But when you're faith-based and spiritual, when a miracle happens, we just smile, and it's like we knew this was going to happen. We just know it's going to happen. So when I met Joe, one of the first questions out of his mouth, he goes, "Are you spiritual? You have an aura around you, this amazing white light." And I just smiled, and I said, "Yeah, I am." And now, meanwhile, it's been 2 months. I was praying on meeting a beautiful spiritual man, and he's there, "Are you afraid?" I'm like, "Nope, I was expecting you." And he kind of smiled and didn't really understand where that response came from. And I was as confident as could be. So it's this knowing. It's just this knowing. It's just so amazing. So you picture it, you think it, you feel it, you be joyful, you trust each day, and you will receive it. So they say, ask, answer, and the answer will come, and you receive it. Don't doubt, don't delay, don't second guess, don't ask, well, how's this going to happen for me? Don't get bogged down in the details. A step at a time. When we do goal setting and coaching, it's 3 personal goals a day, 3 business goals a day, 3 goals a day, 3 a week, both personal and in business, 3 a month, both personal and business. So you're chopping away at these little mini goals, and soon these all come together. And do act on your inspiration and intuition, because it's coming up from the divine, it's coming from within you. And the feeling creates the result. So not just the words, not just the thoughts. Get deep with that feeling, way inside you with your meditation. Feel good about this process. It should never feel like a chore. It should never be like, oh, I got to meditate right now. No, it's like, oh, I want to meditate. And then I actually get a little pissy if someone's interrupting my meditation when they call me. So I had to turn my phone down. Turn your phone down so you know you're not interrupted from your deep thoughts. And meditation's interesting. All you need is 15 minutes. When you first start out, it might feel like this is a really long process, but when you get really good at it, you can really almost flatline your brain. It feels like 2 minutes, and then you're done. But in my meditation, the 4-step meditation, and I think I went into it the last tape I did, you can feel the differences coming up for you. So I want to challenge you with an exercise this week, and it's capping. So anytime a negative thought comes up, guys, I want you to cap it with a positive thought, a corrective thought, okay, to get you out of the negative space. Again, most humans have 8 out of 10 negative thoughts. We can retrain your brain with conscious thinking to have 8 out of 10 positive thoughts. Okay, so it starts with capping, which is correcting. Here's the negative thought, correct it, okay, and keep doing that. And again, this comes from all the childhood wounds, all the childhood messages we got. We're not good enough. We're not this enough. I remember coming out once from a swimming event. I was a swimmer, and I went up to my mom. I was so excited. I'm like, "Oh my God, Mom, I got the best time." I did the 100 breaststroke. I did the 200 IM. Any swimmers out there would know what that is. And I did the medley relay as the breaststroker. And I came out so excited that I got my best time. And she goes, "Well, it still isn't as good as so-and-so's time." So I'd never had that verbal affirmation of that love, and I had to learn to do that for myself. I had to learn within my own head saying this is great or good job and give me the accolades that I always wanted. And ironically, I ended up in the Penn State Hall of Fame for swimming, and I did really good. I went to, women's nationals in water polo, but it was like never a big deal to me. Like I really didn't care that much about those accolades. It was just I wanted to hear those words from my mom more than that I was a Penn State Hall of Famer. Like, who cares, But it's like those messages from being young. So if you guys are parents, if you know anyone that's a parent, what you say is so profound to your children, okay? If you tell them they're great and amazing, trust me, they're going to grow up to be great and amazing. Parents who are out there, I want you to look up the Doman method of education, which is now called the Better Baby Institute. I brought my children up with this method of education. So my girls are now 33 and 34. I read about this when I was pregnant with Stefan. I said, you know what? I'm going to do this with my kids. My kids became straight A students. They were reading by 2.5. Lexi exempted 11th grade. She went from 10th to 12th grade. Many of you know she went on to have a singing career, 3 multi-platinum CDs with an amazing pop artist of the time. Went on to be a top model, have a couple of TV shows, now is coaching around the world. Why? She believed that she could. And at 5 years old, you know, I remember sitting there watching the Save the Children commercial. She goes, Mom, I'm going to go save those kids in Africa one day. And I said, you know what, babe? I believe you will. And that's the thing parents have to do for their kids. Believe. Believe in their dreams. Even if you think it's far-fetched, believe in the dreams. I don't know if my kid was going to grow up and really put water wells in Africa, but at 20, she started her charity and she's put 12 in already. So you know what? If they believe and you believe, you're giving them all that wonderful energy to do whatever it is they desire in life. Stefana grew up to have amazing jobs herself, became supervisor at a major airline in training at the age of 24. She's an amazing mom now, teaching the kids a lot of these concepts. So you as parents have so much power, and I don't want to say control, because control is a bad word, but the power to influence your children to be great and amazing. And The Secret will teach you the mindset, or my book, Live Beyond Your Dreams, or any other motivational books. And you can, it's never too young to start with children. And when I worked in the schools, my kindergarten kids, my first graders, my third graders, they came down and meditated in Miss Riana's room. It was Miss Riana's relaxation room. There was low lights, and we sit on the floor, and we listened to Louis Miguel. I didn't understand a word of the Spanish music, but it was calming to my kids, and then we'd meditate to it. And they'd go back like Zen to the classroom. My teacher's like, what are you doing to these kids? Like, they're totally different when they come back from your office after 15 minutes. So meditation works with kids, but the affirmation, I have a whole parenting chapter in Live Beyond Your Dreams. If you're parents, you may want to read that. Because I raised my kids under the philosophy of Doman method of education to become very brilliant kids and very successful, and the concepts that are very brilliantly described in The Secret and well documented as well in Live Beyond Your Dreams. So you have so much ability to influence your children. In relationships, your love relationships, guys, you know, when you see your partner do something nice for you, say thank you, compliment. Just get excited about those little things, because all those little things add up to be so big, and it keeps the love going and the passion going. So in your love relationships, it's amazing. For those of you that had difficulty with your parents, so important you forgive your parents, mom or dad, your biological mom and dad, your stepdads. When we forgive, it doesn't mean what they did was correct. Doesn't mean what they did was right. But now in our adult minds, we can say, what good can I find from this bad? Maybe you can be the amazing parent that you always wanted, that loving. You're like, I didn't hear those words, I love you, from my mom for like never until I was 24, and I taught her those words. But my girls heard, I love you, and hugs and kisses, and I was that crazy mom all over my girls. Very affectionate, because I became that mom I always wanted. So even though you might not have had a good parenting experience, you have the ability to change that. You know how healing that is when you become the parent that you always wanted? It's a beautiful thing, okay? So we as adults have to forgive our parents. We have to teach them a better way. I actually taught my mom to say the words, I love you, because I asked her about it. I was 24 years old. I was fourth out of 5 kids. I had the first grandkids. Stefana was her first grandchild. And I called and I said, gosh, Mom, you had 5 kids. Thank you for having us. I want to thank you for making sure I was born. And like, this was not easy. How did you have 5 kids? And thank you. I love you. And slowly over time, I finally heard I love you back. I like dropped the phone like that. I'm like, finally, she finally told me. But we can teach our parents to be more kinder, more loving by giving them accolades for what they did do for us. They were never maybe modeled the proper parenting. And this stuff, guys, goes through the generations. So somebody's got to stop it, right? So if we stop it by love and forgiveness, and even when that parent's still difficult, we're visiting, I say, just be socially polite. How would you be if a stranger was a little rude to you? You would be socially polite. And that's the best way sometimes just to handle it. Be socially polite and walk away and do your own thing anyway. But we don't have to be rude. We don't have to pick a fight. Our parents are elderly. You respect their opinion. Say, thank you for that input. I'll consider that. And still walk away and can do your own thing. But we can be socially polite, right? And find those good lessons out of the bad. So spirituality is very important to use in all the relationships. Friends make mistakes. We're all humans. Very important you forgive your friends. Give them some slack. However, if a friend really does you wrong, it's really important that you have an open conversation. Tell them why you're disappointed and say, if we move forward, these are the boundaries we now need to have, and go forward that way. You know, you don't want to write someone totally off. If they were a friend, you want to try and give them another chance, okay? So spirituality is important in every relationship that you have. And I hope I gave those examples. Again, if you have not seen the movie The Secret by Robin Burns, very powerful documentary. I also want to suggest The Abundance Factor. I have that CD case somewhere. That was produced by Riley Dane, and my daughter Alexi Panos is actually in that movie with some other stellar people, some from The Secret. It's called The Abundance Factor. It may or may not be in Netflix, but there's a lot of great inspirational movies out there, and I just want to encourage you and inspire you to keep growing, keep learning, keep inspiring yourself to be the very best evolved person that you can, so your energy and light attract someone amazing to you as well. And if you're in a coupled relationship, you two do it together. If you need help, let me know. I'm here to help you. As always, I do give a free coaching strategy session, especially for those, I will do it for anyone over 21, but especially those coming from childhood trauma. I want to help you get beyond the trauma and the pain to have the life and love that you deserve. So just go on my website, rianamilne.com, and a little pop-up form comes up. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your story. I'll email you back. Make sure I have a good cell phone for you. We will set up a time. If you're in Delray Beach area, I meet you in my office. Otherwise, I meet you by Skype. And we will start you on that process of that personal transformation to feel amazing about your life and about the love that either you want to attract into your life or make better in your primary relationships. So, guys, is there any questions I can answer for you right now before I sign off? I do have an app also. It's called My Relationship Coach. It's free. Download it. All my videos are on there. YouTube, there's a ton of videos. I think I got like 55 on there now. So all different kind of topics to help you feel amazing about yourself and your life and your love relationships. If you're on there, please just subscribe. And any video you like, please just like it for me. You know, that SEO, you got to like help out the people that you listen to. Just give me some SEO likes and subscribes. I would truly be grateful for that. And again, I will see you here next Sunday. We are in the month of April. This is the time of rebirth, celebration of life, spirituality, and I celebrate my father also, who taught me the power of the 5 Ds. This was a lesson I did before. I took the weekend off last Sunday, I have to admit. I played a little hooky, but that felt really good, and I needed it, so I gave myself that little time out. But I wanted to dedicate my Facebook Lives to my dad this month, and he always said, "Hun, if you have the 5 Ds, you can do anything in life," which is desire, devotion, dedication, determination, and dare to dream. And I do want to add drive to that, because that helps too. I have a little bit of drive. So it's a dedication to my dad, who always inspired me to be the best I could be, to live large, to live my dreams, and never to feel like I couldn't do what I want to do in my life. So with that message, I wish you an absolutely amazing week, guys. Start feeling spiritual. Start practicing this. Read a great book on spirituality. Watch The Secret. Watch The Abundant Factor. Seek out other documentaries to grow and learn, because our learning never stops. As Tony Robbins says, if you're not growing, you're dying. Love that quote. So pick up something new to learn today. Feel amazing about yourself. Share your life, your light, and your heart tomorrow and this whole week with strangers on the street, and people you feel like need a helping hand, and watch how your life changes. Just believe, guys. Believe and you will achieve it. Trust me, it'll work. With that note, have an amazing week. God bless, and I'll see you next Sunday.